Imagine discovering that one of the biggest stars in Chinese entertainment quietly walked away from the role of a lifetime, not because of money, not because of fame, but because someone else's future mattered more. Stay with this incredible story until the very end, because every chapter reveals a new twist, and don't forget to share your thoughts about what you would do in the same situation. The entertainment industry has always been filled with stories of fierce competition, unexpected opportunities, and impossible decisions. Every audition represents months of preparation, countless sacrifices, and dreams that sometimes take years to become reality. Now imagine a world where Zhang Linghe stood at the doorstep of the biggest opportunity of his career. The production company had narrowed hundreds of hopeful actors down to only 2 finalists. One signature. One final meeting. One decision. That was all that separated him from becoming the leading actor in one of the year's most anticipated productions. Everyone around him believed the role was already his. His management team celebrated quietly. Friends congratulated him before any official announcement. Industry insiders whispered that the director had been deeply impressed during the final screen test. Everything seemed perfectly aligned. Then something completely unexpected happened. Late one evening, Zhang Linghe received a phone call that changed everything. On the other end of the conversation came news that another young performer was desperately hoping for a breakthrough. That performer happened to be someone connected to Tian Xiwei's family. Unlike established stars, this newcomer had spent years attending auditions without receiving a meaningful opportunity. Every rejection slowly chipped away at confidence. Every missed role made the dream seem more distant. Still, hope remained alive. As Zhang Linghe listened carefully, he reportedly found himself facing an impossible choice. Should he continue pursuing another career milestone? Or should he step aside and allow another dream to become reality? The decision would not simply affect one project. It could influence several careers for years to come. That evening became one of quiet reflection. Instead of immediately responding, Zhang Linghe reportedly spent hours thinking about the journey that had brought him to where he was. He remembered his own early struggles. He remembered auditions where nobody remembered his name. He remembered waiting for opportunities that never arrived. Those memories refused to disappear. By sunrise, his decision had become clear. Instead of protecting his own position, he chose generosity over personal ambition. What happened next surprised everyone involved. When producers expected his confirmation, they instead received unexpected words that nobody had anticipated hearing. He politely expressed gratitude for the opportunity before recommending that another performer deserved a chance to prove himself. Silence reportedly filled the meeting room. Executives looked at one another in disbelief. Such decisions rarely happen in an industry where every opportunity carries enormous importance. The producers asked him several times whether he truly understood what he was giving up. His answer never changed. Sometimes another person's first opportunity means more than your next success. Those words remained unforgettable for everyone who heard them. As news quietly spread through the production offices, respect for Zhang Linghe reportedly reached an entirely new level. Some admired his confidence. Others admired his humility. Many simply could not believe someone would voluntarily step away from such an important role. Meanwhile, the young newcomer received the phone call that would change his own life forever. For several long seconds, he reportedly remained speechless. Years of disappointment suddenly transformed into hope. The opportunity he had almost given up on had finally arrived. When Tian Xiwei later heard what had happened, she reportedly found herself deeply moved by the extraordinary kindness behind the decision. No cameras witnessed the moment. No reporters recorded the conversation. No dramatic announcement appeared online. Only genuine gratitude remained. Sometimes the greatest victories are not measured by awards or headlines. Sometimes they are measured by the opportunities we create for someone else. As filming eventually began, the newcomer approached every scene knowing that someone else's generosity had opened the door. That realization reportedly inspired him to work harder than ever before. Crew members soon noticed his relentless dedication. Directors praised his willingness to learn. Veteran actors encouraged his rapid improvement. The opportunity slowly transformed into genuine success. Looking back years later, many imagined that the greatest reward was never the role itself. It was the reminder that true greatness is often defined not only by talent, but by character. And perhaps that is why stories like this continue capturing people's imagination. Because they remind us that behind every successful career stands the possibility of kindness, courage, and the willingness to lift someone else when the moment matters most. As the story continues, the unexpected decision quickly became the biggest topic inside the production company. No official statements were released, yet everyone involved found themselves wondering why an actor at the height of his career would voluntarily step aside for someone else. Days later, rehearsals officially began. The newcomer entered the studio carrying equal amounts of excitement and nervousness. Every member of the crew understood this was the opportunity he had dreamed about for years. Even so, the pressure was enormous. Every camera seemed intimidating. Every rehearsal felt like an examination. Every scene carried the weight of proving that the opportunity had been deserved. Meanwhile, Zhang Linghe quietly returned to his own schedule, choosing not to discuss the decision with anyone. In this fictional story, he believed that genuine kindness never needed public recognition. However, the production team never forgot what had happened. During one rehearsal, the director reportedly gathered the cast together and reminded everyone that talent alone never builds a lasting career. Character matters just as much as ability. Those words inspired the entire production. The newcomer began arriving before everyone else each morning. He practiced dialogue during lunch breaks. He remained after rehearsals to ask experienced crew members for advice on improving his performance. Slowly, confidence replaced uncertainty. Scene after scene became stronger. Even veteran actors started complimenting his rapid improvement. One afternoon, the director watched playback from several important scenes. Instead of immediately giving notes, he simply smiled and said that hard work always reveals itself through the camera. Those simple words filled the young actor with renewed determination. As filming continued, an unexpected visitor arrived on set. In the story, Tian Xiwei stopped by briefly to greet the cast and crew. She congratulated everyone on their progress and encouraged the newcomer to continue believing in himself. Her visit lifted everyone's spirits. Laughter returned to the set. The atmosphere became lighter. For a moment, the demanding production schedule was replaced by genuine encouragement and shared excitement. Months later, when filming wrapped, the entire team gathered for a quiet celebration. Looking around the room, the director reflected on how one unexpected decision had changed the atmosphere of the entire production. He reminded everyone that success becomes even more meaningful when people choose to support one another instead of competing at every opportunity. As the fictional story reaches another turning point, audiences are left with an important question. If you were standing before the biggest opportunity of your life, would you protect your own dream at any cost, or would you ever step aside to help someone else build theirs? That question became the lasting message of this imagined story, reminding everyone that kindness can sometimes leave an even greater legacy than fame.